All right, guys, learning target 2, part 2, solving radical equations containing rational exponents. So recall what rational exponents represent. If I have x equals 2/3, remember that that is going to mean it is power over root. So this would be the third root of x squared, okay, which can also be written as the third root of x. Of x squared, okay, same thing. So just remember that when we look at our problems now. So if we look at example 1, I have x minus 2 to the 1/3 power, okay? So if it's 1/3 power, that means it's the cubed root of x minus 2, okay? When it's in parentheses, that means the whole thing is underneath the radical, equals 5. So if this was the case, what do I need to do to get rid of the cubed root? Well, I need to cube it. So you're going to be doing whatever the bottom part of the fraction is. So if I cubed it, 3, okay. If you don't understand why it is the way it is, 3 times 1/3 gives me 1, and that's how they cancel out, okay? So I would get x minus 2. 5 cubed will give me 5 times 5, which is 25. 25 times 5, which is 125, okay? X minus 25, x minus 2 equals 125. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and x equals 127. That would be your final answer. Okay, so now for example 2, I have 2x to the 1/3 power minus 2 equals 0. So the difference here is that I need to get the x by itself. And since only x, the 1/3 is to the x, okay, if it was to the whole thing, you would see it in parentheses. So because it's not in parentheses, that means it's only to the x, okay? So this only belongs to the x, which means I need to move both 2's to the other side. So I'm going to start by adding 2 first to give me 2x to the 1/3 power equals 2. And then I'll divide by 2 and get x to the 1/3 power equals 1. And then I need 2 cubed both sides. That cancels out. I get x. 1 cubed, so 1 times 1 times 1 gives me 1. And that would be your final answer. Okay. Moving on, example 3, I have x to the 1/2 power minus 5 equals 0, okay? So I'm going to need to move my 5 to the other side to isolate my x before I can get rid of the exponent. So I'm adding 5 to the other side. So to get rid of 1/2, I'm going to square it. What I do to one side, I need to do to the other side. So squared, squared. Half of 2 is 1, so I get x left. 5 squared is 25. And that is your answer. All right, example 4, I have 2x to the 3/4 power equals 16. So I need to, again, isolate the x because the 3/4 power is only to the x, okay? So I'm dividing by 2 on both sides. I get x to the 3/4 equals 16 divided by 2, which is 8, okay? So now you have to understand that this is the fourth root of x cubed. To get rid of this fraction, though, okay, you really don't even need to understand that part. Just something for you to know in the back of your mind, okay? You're just going to flip the fraction, okay? I'm going to flip it and make it 4/3. And I'm going to make this 4/3 as well, okay? So since this would cancel out, okay, I get x, okay, this would become the cubed root of 8 to the 4th, okay. What you're going to do here is do the cubed root of 8. Let's actually write it like this. Okay, cubed root of 8, which is 2. And then 2 to the 4th power will give you 2 times 2, which is 4. 2 times 2 again, which is 4. And 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, so when you're solving them, make sure you're writing the parentheses so you understand that you have to do the cubed root first, and then you're going to take it to the exponent. All right, moving on to example 5. I have x minus 2 to the 2/3 power minus 4 equals 5. So I need to start by isolating this entire thing right here, okay, because it's all to the 2/3 power since it's in parentheses. So I'm going to start by adding 4 to the other side. I get x minus 2 to the 2/3 power equals 9. To get rid of the 2/3 power, I need to flip that fraction and multiply by 3/2, so they would cancel out. I also need to get this to the 3/2 power. Once I have done that, okay, I have x minus 2, okay. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this as the square root of 9 cubed, okay. So the square root of 9, I'm going to deal with this side before I solve for x, so I can simplify first. The square root of 9 is 3. 3 split cubed. I have x minus 2. And then you actually need to remember that you also need to put a plus or minus here, okay? Because whenever we square root a number, it's always plus and minus. So 3 cubed, you have to do it with a positive 3 and negative 3. So I'm going to go ahead and make it 2 equations already. So I would do x minus 2 equals 3 cubed, and then x minus 2 equals negative 3 cubed, okay? So 3 cubed, 3 times 3 times 3 would give me 27. And then that's when I would add 2 over to give me x equals 29. Okay, so there is one answer right there. Now I'm going to do it to this other side. So negative 3 times negative 3 would give me positive 9 times another negative 3 will give me a negative 27. Okay, x minus 2. So I'm going to add 2 over to give me a negative 25. And there are both answers, x equals 29 and x equals negative 25. All right, moving on to example 6. I have 3x to the 4/3 power plus 5. So again, the x is the only one that has the exponent of 4/3, so I need to move the 5 and the 3 to the other side. I'm going to start by subtracting the 5. So I have 3x to the 4/3 equals 48. Divide by 3 on both sides. Okay, I have x to the 4/3 equals 16. I'm going to take both sides to the 3/4 power. Flip the fraction. That cancels out. 3/4 power. I have x equals the 4th root of 16 cubed. Okay. So the 4th root of 16, what multiplies by itself 16 4 times to what multiplies by itself 4 times to give me 16. So if you need to, you can do the factor tree. I get 4 times 4, 2 times 2, and 2 times 2. Well, looks like it's a perfect 4th root with there's my perfect 4th root of 2. So I would have plus or minus whenever it's an even one. Okay, remember we always have to use plus or minus. If it's odd, it either has a positive or negative, depending whatever the number inside of the root is. Okay, and that is cubed still. So I need to do 2 cubed since I'm going to have to do it both times. Okay, 2 cubed is going to give me 8 both times, and I'll just leave it as a plus or minus answer. Okay, because if I cubed positive 2 3 times, it would give me a positive 8. If I cubed negative 2, that would give me a negative 8. So x equals plus or minus 8. And that is how you solve radical equations with rational exponents. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. And have a great day. Go ahead and get started on your assignment.